It's very bittersweet. I'll always love Cal for what he did for us, but us as Kentucky fans, we deserve better than the last 4 years.
After a disappointing run recently, Cats fans may be jumping ship while coach John Calipari appears to be sailing off to a new horizon. We break down the latest reports of the coaching shakeup. And new into the newsroom overnight, another man is charged in a deadly shooting that left one man dead in Louisville last summer. Those details, as well as information about the other person charged in the crime. And today is the final day for legislative action from Kentucky's governor, and several high-profile bills are still up in the air. A recap of what's in and what could be out. That's ahead on Wave News Sunrise.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Happy Tuesday morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us here on Sunrise. It's now 6 o'clock. I'm Olivia Russell in for Shannon Kogan with meteorologist Tawana Andrew. You're trying to channel the sun here. Are we going to get it today?
Not really.
Oh.
No.
So this
is why I tried to be as bright as possible because I knew that the weather was going to be too gloomy. And sometimes your outfit is the thing that makes you feel a little bit brighter. So maybe go for a bolder color today because we're going to be seeing a lot of grays in the sky as the day goes along. Right now, some yellows on your screen, and that just goes along with the mild temperatures across the region right now. Seeing 62 degrees in Corydon, 65 at the airport in Louisville, 58 though for those of you in E-Town, and seeing 60 now in Frankfort. Good morning. Looking across the metro, 63 in Sellersburg, Fairdale, and for those of you in Prospect, 61 in LaGrange, 59 in Simpsonville and Eastwood, and for those of you in New Albany, you're sitting at 63 degrees. Plenty of clouds overhead, and they're going to stay with us all day long, and eventually some rain will fall from those clouds. We'll watch that happening once you get past on 10, 11 o'clock, with the rain slowly taking over from the south, and we'll keep these rounds of showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon and into this evening. No, it's not going to rain the entire day, but yes, you certainly want to make sure you have that umbrella with you and you're keeping an eye on the Wave weather app to track these showers and thunderstorms. Now, with the rain across the region, we are not talking about much of a warm up today, keeping our temperatures in the 60s all day long, but the rain will help. Even though we still have pollen counts on the high side for today, pollen counts will drop once we head into the rest of the week. But remember, everything that is falling down in terms of pollen eventually must go back up, because all this rain will fuel those pollen counts going right back up once we head into the upcoming weekend. So just be fully prepared for that.
Yeah, be fully stocked with that medicine. Luckily, I just got mine. Thanks, Tawana. Hey, looking at some of our metro traffic cameras this morning, everything seems to be moving up with the speed limits this morning. 71 at 64 at Oxmoor and 64 at Floyd County. You're up to 61 miles per hour right now. I know it's 6 o'clock, but cars will be moving there soon. And if we look at our traffic map, everything's looking green. Looks like we have one stalled car on 64 East just before the bridges there in downtown Louisville, but everything else looking clear this morning.
This is pretty heady stuff for me. But this was a dream I had since we brought our team down here, and I believe it was 1992. We had won the Alaska Shootout, came down here to play, and I could not believe the environment. And at that point, I said, I'd love to coach there someday.
That was John Calipari at his introductory press conference when he took the Kentucky job 15 years ago. Now he's reportedly on his way out following a disappointing appearance in the NCAA tournament. We're already seeing a shakeup in men's basketball coaches across Kentucky. Western, Moorhead, and of course U of L, all with new coaches set to lead their teams next season. Is UK next? Reports are piling up of Calipari leaving UK basketball to take the head coaching job at Arkansas, with rumblings of an announcement happening today. A lot of the fan base is saying it's time for him to go. Wave News reporter Josh Ninke is breaking down what we know. Josh?
Olivia, some reports expected the news to come yesterday. Well, Coach Cal didn't eclipse yesterday's March Madness championship, or the literal eclipse, but it could happen today. Several outlets are reporting that Calipari met with some UK athletic department staff yesterday, but not the director. There's also word that nothing has officially been signed at this point, but it certainly appears that this is essentially a done deal. This would put an end to a UK career with more than 400 wins, a national title, 4 Final Fours, and 7 Elite Eights. Crew spent Monday trying to get anything confirmed on this, including asking the man himself. One reporter caught him out on a walk, and this is all he got.
Hey, Coach, you got anything you want to say to your fans or anything?
Anything
right now? You want to say anything to your fans right now?
I'm good. Come on, Paul.
And that was it. We'll have to see if he has more to say on the issue at some point today. Now, there's nothing official scheduled, but obviously we'll let you know the moment that this goes final. Make sure to download the Wave News app with the very latest. Live in the studio, Josh Dinky, Wave News.
Josh, thank you. And as he mentioned, you can get alerted first on the whole coaching situation when you download the Wave News app. It's free to download in the App Store. We'll also keep you updated on air and online at wave3.com. Former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll is scheduled to appear in court today for a contempt hearing after weapons were found during a search of his property that he was supposed to turn over to investigators. Today, Knoll will be in court to try to explain why he had 2 guns in his home. When setting the bond, the judge clearly told Knoll he was only allowed to have 1 shotgun. When police executed a search warrant at Knoll's Jeffersonville home, they found 2 handguns earlier this month. An immunity deal for Knoll's brother-in-law is being taken off the table. Brett Kramer's lawyer says he'll plead the 5th if called to testify. State police said Kramer and a political associate of Knoll's, Charlie Moon, helped surrender the guns to them. Together, he and his wife Misty are accused of charging more than $327,000 on vacation expenses, plane tickets, Ubers, and car rentals. The Knolls have pleaded not guilty to 10 counts of theft and tax evasion related to their credit card spending. The couple's oldest daughter, Casey, has been charged with similar felonies. Both Misty and Casey are also set to appear in court today for pretrial conferences. New on Sunrise, a second man is now charged in a downtown shooting that left 1 man dead. Arlo Whitehead was arrested yesterday. Police say he was involved in a shooting off 26th and West Madison Street in the Russell neighborhood last June. Darwin Morgan was killed in that shooting. Court records say surveillance video captured Whitehead driving the car involved in the shooting. Samuel Crowder Jr. is also charged with murder in that case. Court records say that Whitehead was stopped by police and told them that Crowder Jr. was one of the people who shot Morgan. He was arrested last year and pleaded not guilty. The man accused in a Louisville mass shooting is also scheduled to be in court today. Arthur Simpson is charged with the shooting at Southern Restaurant and Lounge on Market Street in downtown Louisville. Simpson is accused of shooting a total of 6 people, including 37-year-old Terrence Bethel and 35-year-old Colby Banks, who died. Police say he turned himself in, as well as the gun he used. Tomorrow, the city of Louisville will take time to remember lives lost 1 year after a gunman killed 5 people at Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. On April 10th, all of the bank's Louisville offices will be closed to honor Josh Barrick, Dina Eckert, Tommy Elliott, Juliana Farmer, and Jim Tutt. The bank will also be partnering with the American Red Cross to host blood drives throughout next week. Old National Bank offices outside of Louisville will close at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The U.S. Department of Justice is looking to get the public's input as federal officials continue negotiations on a consent decree with the city of Louisville. Monday night, DOJ representatives hosted a community meeting where the public could share their ideas about LMPD reform. It comes after the DOJ released a scathing report last year after its investigation into LMPD found numerous discriminatory practices within the department. A top priority brought up by community members was how to create a culture where LMPD officers can report violations within the department and ensure consequences for officers who violate policies.
I would like to see real consequences. If there is something that an officer violates, I want to see real consequences, not a suspension, not, well, we'll transfer you to Hardin County. I want to see some real consequences.
The DOJ will have 4 more of these meetings in the coming months. You can find that information on our website, wave3.com. The clock is winding down for Governor Andy Beshear to sign bills into law. The veto period ends today, and there are still a few big-ticket items in limbo in Frankfort. Beshear has not announced which way he'll go on House Bill 5, also called the Safer Kentucky Act. It's a widespread anti-crime bill. He says he approves some of the measures, like destroying guns used in murders and the stricter carjacking statute. The governor is concerned, though, about an illegal camping statute that could lead to homeless people getting fined for sleeping outside in certain areas. Another bill still on the table is Senate Bill 2. The bill, in part, aims to address the shortage of school resource officers by allowing certified veterans and former law enforcement officers to act as SROs. Supporters say this will make schools safer, but critics worry that police were not consulted when debate on the bill was happening.
The Guardians, I think, brings a lot of unknown forces into our school.
This is not a program that we are just forcing on districts. They have the permissive language that they can adopt this Guardian program if they want to.
Governor Beshear has the option to sign a bill into law, veto it, or allow it to become law without his signature. Governor Beshear is also taking advantage of his veto power as state lawmakers get ready to close out this year's legislative session. One thing vetoed was Resolution 81. It would create a task force to analyze districts with more than 75,000 students and explore options to make them run more efficiently, including the possibility of splitting up districts. JCPS is the only district in Kentucky with that amount of students. The governor says any decision about JCPS should be made locally, not in Frankfort. Meanwhile, Republican Representative Ken Fleming released this statement about the veto. It says in part, quote, Governor Beshear has ignored the district's failure to meet the needs of children, even though audit after audit reveals issues within the district, end quote. Another bill that would have made Louisville's election for mayor and Metro Council nonpartisan has been vetoed. Supporters of the bill say local offices don't need party affiliations because much of the work done at the local level is nonpartisan. Elections in the city have been partisan since Louisville and Jefferson County merged back in 2003. So far, Beshear has vetoed a total of 13 bills. Thousands of people all captivated by a once-in-a-lifetime astronomical event. The Great American Eclipse made its way across our area with several parts experiencing totality, and the Wave team was there for all of the best views. All across Wave country, eyes were looking up to the sky, all to get a glance at the eclipse. Those in Indiana were able to witness totality, something worth hours of traveling for some, while others drove in from nearby places like Louisville. So many of the people who we talked to were there for the excitement and those 3 minutes of darkness that they have been waiting weeks for.
It's obviously maybe once in a lifetime experience, and to be able to share it with my family, it's just beyond all words. I'm very blessed.
If you missed out, the next eclipse in our area will be in quite a while, but if you want to relive it, we have all of our coverage from yesterday online, so be sure to check it out on wave3.com. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew, who got to see totality yesterday. How was it?
It was absolutely fantastic. In Indiana, the weather held out. Kentucky, not so lucky. And for today, we're going to watch the rain moving into Kentucky first, and then we'll see Indiana getting in on the rain chances once we get into the afternoon hours. But everyone will watch for more of these showers and thunderstorms once we get into this afternoon. I'll let you know how long this rain is going to last after the break.
Thanks, Tawana. 6:11 now. For those who haven't filed your taxes yet, your time to do so is now. A reminder that quickly approaching deadline and why it's so important. That's next on Sunrise.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Don't let the excitement of the eclipse and the build-up to Kentucky Derby 150 distract you from getting your taxes done. The deadline to file is next Monday. According to the IRS, the average return is around $3,000 this year. The agency has already received more than 90 million tax returns. Experts say the worst thing you could do is not file at all.
One of those mistakes that we see people make is they just get scared, and so then they put it aside and they say, no, I don't want to deal with it at all, which is about the worst thing you could do.
If you really need more time, you can file for an extension, but you must do that by April 15th. If approved, you'll have until October 15th to file your taxes. Tawana, I already did mine. I got my tax return. I wanted that money.
Yeah, well, I filed mine. Apparently, I was doing my taxes because, you know, I got nothing back this year. But hey, it's fine. It's fine. That means I was doing something along the way, right? For those of you heading out right now, what we're seeing some more of that rain steadily pushing towards us. We have a couple of fronts nearby, and those are going to keep the rain in the forecast over the next few days. Yes. quite a bit of that rain coming our way. Right now, though, all we're dealing with just the clouds overhead, and that is it. So cloudy and calm. Looking towards the airport in Louisville, everything is quiet as a couple of UPS planes are taking off, and we're getting now to that time that we are seeing more of those commercial flights as well getting ready to take off in Louisville. So if you're traveling today, at least in the morning, you should be a-okay. But as we head into the afternoon, things could be slightly bumpier just because we'll have more of those showers and thunderstorms in the region later on today. And that's going to be the tail of the next few days, by the way. Your temperatures are sitting in the 50s and the low 60s across the region. 62 in Jasper, 60 in Frankfort, 65 degrees at the airport in Louisville with the wind pretty light, less than 10 miles per hour right now. But as we head into the afternoon, we're going to start to see the wind picking up a little bit more with some of these gusts near 20 to 25 miles per hour. So not too strong, but certainly noticeable, especially with that rain coming down. They may blow the rain sideways at times. So just going to give you a heads up, especially with so many of us going to be walking around with umbrellas. Don't want those turning inside out. Our Futurecast shows as we continue through the early morning hours, quiet, cloudy. Then we head past 10 a.m. Here comes the rain pushing in from the south and southwest. As we approach the afternoon, more rounds of these showers and thunderstorms moving through. Keep in mind, most of us will be sitting in the 60s throughout the day today. But if you got a little bit more of that dry time, I would not be surprised if we saw a few low 70s here and there. That's entirely within the realm of possibility. Getting into the evening hours, here we go. Still sitting mainly in the 60s as we watch the rain becoming a little bit more scattered. And we'll watch that trend continuing through the evening hours into tonight. We'll get a little bit of a break into the overnight early tomorrow morning before more rain starts to move right back in. So we'll have to keep an eye on additional rounds of rain pushing our way just in time, of course, for your Wednesday morning commute. Getting into the midday time frame on Wednesday, yes, more rounds of these showers and thunderstorms, and we're going to keep it going into Wednesday night. But here's the thing with what we're looking at for Wednesday night. We see that chance for a couple of stronger thunderstorms moving through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And because of that potential, there is a marginal risk of severe weather for our southernmost counties. So we're talking from Grayson County all the way through southern portions of Hardin County into LaRue County and over into Marion County and everyone south of that. In that marginal risk, our main threat looks to be damaging winds. We'll also have to keep an eye on the flooding threat as the end of the week approaches because Thursday, yep, still dealing with these rounds of rain. And the reason that we're looking at a little bit more of that rain on Thursday is because of this area of low pressure that's going to take its very sweet time moving through our region. So all day on your Thursday, it's just going to be on and off showers and thunderstorms. Finally starting to dry out as we head into Friday morning. We'll have to keep an eye on the track of that low and how quickly it moves out of here because that will dictate whether or not we see rain chances just Friday morning or potentially all the way into Friday afternoon and evening. So a trend that will continue to monitor. Then we head into your Friday, still dealing with more of that rain. As I mentioned, for the first half of the day, by the time everything is said and done, we're talking around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. So overall, not too bad with the widespread rain, but with locally heavier totals possible. And of course, some of our creeks and rivers are already a little bit high. We could run into some issues. Also, we'll have to keep an eye on those water levels and the flooding threat towards the end of the week. The weekend, though, looking fabulous. 70s and sunshine on Saturday, warmer on Sunday with a small rain chance and a few more clouds overhead. Getting towards tax day on Monday, highs near 80, quite a bit of sunshine. Rain does not return to the forecast, it looks like right now, until Wednesday of next week.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, over $5 billion in grants and scholarships.
Now that the Great American Eclipse is over, what should you do with all those glasses? You can donate the glasses to Astronomers Without Borders, who will send the glasses to underserved communities and schools all over the world to use in future solar eclipses. Eclipse Glasses USA is also collecting glasses to send to Latin American children for the October annular eclipse. Well, there are thousands of pictures and videos of the total solar eclipse, but one effect that happens when the moon blocks the sun's path is called a 360 sunset. It makes it look like there's a sunset along the horizon. This is a video from Seymour, Indiana. The next total solar eclipse in the U.S. isn't until 2044. It'll travel through Canada before ending in Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Tawana, I guess we should go ahead and make our hotel reservations because those filled up fast.
Those booked up everywhere in the area with so many people coming to the region. So for those of you who are here and still here, thank you for visiting. We love to have you here. Come back, especially since we have Derby coming up pretty soon. What we're seeing for today, though, is not the best of weather. We're talking about more of these showers and thunderstorms moving in for the afternoon hours, keeping the rounds of rain for your Wednesday, Thursday, and into the first half of your Friday. The weekend still looking pretty good for everything that's going to be going on across the region, including Racing Louisville's home game. I'm just going to put that out there for right now. We're going to see highs on Saturday near 72 degrees, some upper 70s on Sunday with some clouds around. And then for the beginning of the next work week, highs near 80 before some more rain arrives by late Tuesday into next Wednesday.
Thanks, Tawana. A new poll found most women in states with restrictive abortion laws want the procedure to be more accessible. The poll from KFF, formerly known as the Kaiser Family Foundation, found that 2/3 of women in states where abortions are limited think abortion should be legal in most cases. This comes almost 2 years after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, eliminating the federal constitutional right to an abortion. The poll also found 1 in 7 women in states with abortion bans say they know someone who has had trouble getting an abortion. A new University of Kentucky study is highlighting how overdose deaths are disproportionately affecting black people in the state. The report found the overall overdose deaths were down 5% in the Commonwealth in 2022. The same data showed an 8% increase in overdose deaths in the black community. Leaders at the University of Kentucky Injury Prevention and Research Center say the trend highlights barriers in substance use treatments.
That shows that there is a huge part of the community that's missing from this conversation, and that means they're missing from approaches, resources, and we just want to make sure that we're getting everyone taken care of.
Fentanyl was identified as the leading contributing factor in deadly overdoses in Kentucky in 2022. 6:27 now, an announcement could be made today, changing the trajectory of basketball in the state of Kentucky. The latest on UK head coach John Calipari coming up.
Now, Wade News Sunrise.
Good morning. It's now 6:30 on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for sticking with us here on Sunrise. I'm Olivia Russell, in for Shannon Kogan with meteorologist Tawana Andrew. And it's Tuesday. I said it's been a long week.
Yeah, it has been a long week. It feels like everything has been like all over the place just because of Monday and everything that happened on Monday. So now we're just going to go into this dreary stretch where it's just going to seem like 1 week is a month.
Even longer.
This is how it's going to go. I'm just giving you the heads up right now. Grab the rain gear. You are going to need it. But right now, we're not seeing any rain falling in the region. We're just dealing with some pretty mild temperatures across our area. We're seeing temperatures right now in the upper 50s and the low 60s. Our warm spot, the airport in Louisville, currently sitting at 65 degrees. And some cooler spots out there. Shelbyville, Campbellsville, Columbia, E-Town, Munfordville, all sitting at 59 degrees right now. The clouds are overhead and the rain slowly but surely coming our way, but still well to our southwest. But as we continue throughout the day, we're going to keep these clouds overhead, so those not going anywhere. As the morning continues, we'll watch for some spotty showers pushing in gradually, especially after 10 a.m. And then once we get into the afternoon, rain chances really start to go up, and we'll add in even some thunderstorms here and there for the afternoon into this evening. Now with the rain, you would think that we'll see some milder temperatures, and hey, that's what we're actually going to see, keeping those temperatures in the 60s as the day goes along. So for potential travel impacts for today, you'll be using the windshield wipers a lot, especially for the afternoon and evening commutes, Olivia.
Hey, we'll be ready for that later. But for your morning commute, everything is looking pretty solid out there. It looks like we just have that one stalled vehicle, but I checked online before we showed this. Not sure why it's still showing that graphic, but that has been cleared out. So no stalled vehicles right now, no crashes at 6:32 on your Tuesday morning. Everything looking all clear. But today, we could find out if Kentucky head coach John Calipari is leaving the Bluegrass State to go to Arkansas. The deal is reportedly still being finalized. This would be the end of a 15-year career with the Wildcats. Wave News reporter Josh Ninke live in the studio with more on what we know. Josh.
Well, Olivia, reports have been coming out since Sunday about this potential move, but despite rumors, nothing official happened yesterday. Coach Cal's reportedly working out the final details of a deal with Arkansas today. Some outlets say he met with several members of the UK athletic department yesterday, but hasn't specifically told the athletic director that he's leaving. He's had quite a tenure at UK, but it's been 5 years since the Cats have made it to the Elite Eight. Admittedly, one of those was the canceled COVID season. The fan base having quite the mixed reactions about all this, though. Some are happy to see him potentially go, but others just want to support their coach.
First, it was 100% stood behind him, and now you see a shift that everybody is just like, get rid of Cal. And I don't know about that. Like, I think fans should be loyal to their coach. He's done a lot for UK, but at the same time, if fans are ready for a change, maybe it's time for a change.
Here's some context for you. Arkansas hasn't won a national title since 1994, but they have had better postseason runs over the last 5 seasons than UK. They had 2 Elite Eight appearances and 1 Sweet 16. A question of who's next for UK already getting a lot of discussion as well. UConn's head coach, who just won back-to-back titles, said that moving to Kentucky isn't viable after last night's championship game. We'll, of course, stay on top of all the angles as this story continues. Live in the studio, Josh Ninke, Wave News.
Josh, thank you. Louisville police are trying to figure out what led up to a deadly shooting in the Park Duval neighborhood. Police found the man dead at 26th Street and Wilson Avenue around 10:30 Monday morning. LMPD says the shooting actually happened on Cypress Street near Algonquin Park. Police say everyone involved is accounted for, but no arrests have been made yet. A Southern Indiana man will spend 25 years in prison after being convicted on drug charges. Our partners at the News and Tribune report Shannon Houchin was caught with 23 grams of fentanyl and 38 grams of meth in April 2022. Houchin was charged with possession and dealing of fentanyl and meth. Floyd County prosecutor Chris Lane said he's happy with the sentence considering the large amount of fentanyl Houchin had. A part owner of the Houston Texans will avoid jail time after having his Louisville sexual assault charges dropped. Enrique Loya was indicted on charges of rape and sexual abuse last year. In court, all of the sexual abuse charges were dropped, and the single rape charge was amended to harassment with physical contact. As part of the plea deal, Loya pleaded guilty and agreed to a 90-day sentence conditionally discharged. That means Loya is free to go as long as he does not get into any legal trouble again. Loya is a minority owner of the Houston Texans. Early voting starts today for Indiana's primary election. Voting is in the circuit court clerk's office or another satellite office set up by local election officials. Indiana in-person early voting is available to all Hoosier voters for the 4 weeks leading up to Election Day. The ballot this year includes the governor's election, a U.S. Senate seat, and the presidential election. The winners will be on the general election ballot in November. Primary election day is May 7th. Voter registration numbers continue to surge as we draw closer to Kentucky's primaries. Secretary of State Michael Adams says more than 8,800 new voters registered last month. Right now, 46% of the voters are Republican, while 43% are Democratic. 10% are other political affiliations. The deadline to register to vote in Kentucky is April 22nd. The state's presidential primaries are set for May 21st. TARC is launching a new on-demand service option in New Albany. It's called TARC On Demand. The service will work much like ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft. With TARC On Demand, you can book rides in real time with TARC-branded vehicles to take you where you need to go. New Albany was chosen as one of 2 zones to test the service for a six-month pilot program. For the first 30 days of the program, each trip that ends at a TARC stop will be free. After the test period ends, the cost will be $2. Trips that go to any other destination within the zone will cost $5. Churchill Downs wants a lawsuit thrown out that's trying to get a Bob Baffert-trained horse into the Derby 150 field. The track filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit from the Zidane Racing stables. The lawsuit says the Arkansas Derby winner Muth qualified for the Derby and should be allowed to run. Churchill Downs has not let any Bob Baffert trained horses run at the track since 2021. He's been suspended since Medina Spirit was disqualified from the 2021 Derby after failing a post-race drug test. Sedan Racing's lawyers say the motion to dismiss is a delay tactic. The judge will review the motion and is expected to make a ruling next Monday. Heads up drivers, it's Distracted Drivers Awareness Month, and that means police officers nationwide are paying extra attention to find people on any electronic device while driving. Police say Indiana law states you can use your phone as a GPS or even to make a phone call while driving. It just can't be in your hand. Police say if you're caught driving distracted, you could face fines up to $500 and points on your record. Although these officers may not be saving you money if you get a ticket, they could be saving your or someone else's life.
A lot of people call it the new drunk driving because I don't know if you've ever been behind somebody who's either texting on their phone or not paying attention. It mimics a drunk driver. They're all over the roadway, and it's very dangerous.
Officers are paid overtime when working toward finding distracted drivers until April 21st. Now let's check in with Tawana for a look at the next 12 hours.
And over the next 12, we'll watch for some more of this rain moving into our region. We'll see that happening later on this morning after 10 a.m. for most of the region. And we're going to keep these rounds of rain through the afternoon into this evening. We'll see temperatures today hovering in the 60s. Now, as we look ahead, we'll see some warmer and drier weather eventually coming back into the forecast. Let you know when. After the break. Well, if you know anything about goats, you know they love to climb, and one in Missouri managed to get itself in a sticky situation this week. So first responders say the mountain goat was trapped on a small concrete ledge there just below the top of the bridge. Officials aren't sure how he ended up getting there. I have a lot of questions, but after multiple tries, they finally rescued the animal. The goat then taken to the Kansas City Pet Project to get checked out and receive fluids. Goat looks happy there. He just thought he was on a mountain. Yeah. It is impressive. Have you seen a goat stand on a mountain? They're just like all 4 feet will be on the tiniest little pebble. It's incredible. They don't even have a ledge. They're just standing there perfectly comfortable. So that's actually a good amount of space for that goat there. You just forgot how to get back down. Yeah, but I'm glad the goat is okay. Yeah, I'm very glad. Got all checked out, all good today. So we're happy for that goat. Hopefully he can get, a good place to climb safely. That's the thing, right? For anybody heading out today, we're going to be keeping an eye on more rain coming our way. I'll let you know about the duck weather in the forecast in just 30 seconds. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew here with a check of your forecast and what we have going on right now. A couple of cold fronts off towards our west and a whole lot of rain to our south. So we're watching it slowly but surely pushing to the north, getting closer to our area. In fact, seeing a couple of light showers now trying to make their way into Grayson County. Peaking into downtown Louisville, mainly Spaghetti Junction. We can see the clouds overhead as we're waiting for the first light of the day, and traffic starting to pick up a little bit more there as well. But at least weather-wise for the morning commute, things not looking too bad. What we're dealing with temperature-wise, temperatures mainly in the low 60s, but we do have a couple of exceptions. 59 degrees for those of you in Shelbyville, Campbellsville, and into Columbia. A whole lot warmer at the airport in Louisville, where it's currently 65 degrees. Across the metro, seeing temperatures ranging from 56 in Crestwood, you have gone up a little bit there, to 63 in PRP, and seeing 63 as well in Sellersburg, and for those of you in New Albany. The wind is light, less than 10 miles per hour across the region. As we head over the next 12 hours, we'll watch for the wind picking up a bit. Not a whole lot, though, but still enough to make you notice, especially when that rain is coming down. We're going to be talking about wind gusts as we continue throughout the day between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Our Futurecast shows a couple of those isolated showers around for the morning commute, but most of us will be dry. It's not till after 10 a.m. that we really see the more widespread rain marching into our Kentucky counties. Going to keep this rain taking over the area through the afternoon into this evening. Notice your temperatures through the afternoon and evening sitting in the 60s. Now, once we head into later on this evening, we start to dry out just a bit. Still a couple of showers here and there, but certainly a lot drier through the evening and then the overnight before even more of that rain takes over for tomorrow morning. So when we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll be seeing temperatures sitting in the 50s across the region. For your Wednesday morning commute, dealing with additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms, keeping that going through the afternoon. And then we head into your Wednesday evening. We'll have to keep an eye on this area of low pressure that'll be getting closer to us at that point. With the low approaching, we could see some strong thunderstorms Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, and some pretty heavy rain may come along with that. So could some stronger wind gusts, and that is why we have the marginal risk of severe weather for those of you from Litchfield to Lebanon and south. So basically along and south of the parkways is where we have that marginal risk. Damaging winds will be the main threat. I mentioned that low approaching for Wednesday into Thursday. Here it comes, taking over our region on Thursday, bringing the widespread rain into our forecast. Then will finally start to dry out once we get into Friday morning. So it's going to take some time for us to fully get rid of the rain, but by the time the rain is done, we could see 2 to 3 inches of widespread rain across our region. That's going to be from this morning all the way into Friday morning. Some locally higher totals certainly are possible, and all of this rain could lead to some localized flooding concerns, which is a threat that we'll continue to watch. After all the rain, we have a beautiful weekend on tap. Highs in the upper 60s and low 70s on Saturday with a lot of sunshine. Adding in some clouds and warmer weather on Sunday, getting even warmer towards Monday, which is tax day. Reminder if you haven't done your taxes yet. By next Wednesday, we'll not only keep the warmer weather in the forecast, but we'll add back in some rain into parts of wave country.
Thanks, Tawana. The Biden administration is working on canceling more student debt. The president was in Wisconsin on Monday and announced his revised student debt plan. The plan is aimed at canceling runaway interest for millions of borrowers. It will also eliminate debt for those who are eligible for certain forgiveness programs. Some borrowers who started paying off loans at least 20 years ago, borrowers enrolled in low financial value programs, and those experiencing hardships that prevent them from making loan payments.
Folks, I will never stop to deliver student debt relief on hardworking Americans, and it's only in the interest of America that we do it. And again, it's for the good of our economy that's growing stronger and stronger, and it is. By freeing millions of Americans from this crushing debt of student debt, it means they can finally get on with their lives instead of their lives being put on hold.
According to the White House, the administration's new plan would provide student debt relief to more than 30 million Americans. Another big deadline is coming up for Indiana students. Indiana's deadline for the free application for federal student loan aid, or FAFSA, is next Monday. Our partners at the News and Tribune report the latest data shows only about 1/3 of Hoosier High School seniors have completed the form. That's despite a new state law that took effect last year requiring all graduating seniors to complete the application. The decrease in the number of 2024 filings is a nationwide trend, as there have been delays during the application process. Some universities have even pushed back their admissions deadlines. Now let's take a look at the big stories we're following today around the country and the world. Chicago police body camera footage of a deadly shooting during a traffic stop last month will be released this morning. 26-year-old Dexter Reed was pulled over by 5 Chicago police officers on the evening of March 21st. The traffic stop ended with Reed's SUV shot at least a dozen times, and he died at a local hospital. Reed's family and attorney are set to speak after the release of that police video. Today, Jennifer and James Crumbly will be sentenced for their roles in their son Ethan's 2021 mass shooting at Oxford High School in Michigan. Prosecutors have asked the judge to sentence each parent to 10 to 15 years in prison. Their son pleaded guilty to killing 4 classmates and injuring 7 others. He's serving a life sentence without parole. The House and Senate return this week after a 2-week recess. When the House returns, they'll discuss funding for Ukraine and Baltimore Bridge reconstruction cleanup. Speaker Mike Johnson's job could hinge on how he handles Ukraine aid. Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene filed a motion to vacate the Speaker's chair before the recess. And the University of Connecticut will undoubtedly be receiving star treatment today after UConn came out on top over Purdue in the NCAA tournament. For the second year in a row, the Huskies are your national champions, and they're expected to make the trip home today. It's 6:50 now. Stick with us. We have more Sunrise coming up, including our Wake Up Watch list. 6:53 on your Tuesday morning. Here are some of the top stories we're following in today's Wake Up Watch list. According to multiple reports, Coach John Calipari is in negotiations with the University of Arkansas to become their next head basketball coach. Some outlets say he met with several members of the athletic department yesterday, but he hasn't specifically told the athletic director that he's leaving. He's had quite a tenure at UK, but it's been 5 years since the Cats made it to the Elite Eight. Former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll is scheduled to appear in court today for a contempt hearing after weapons were found during a search of his property that he was supposed to turn over to investigators. Knoll was allowed to only have one shotgun, but police found 2 handguns earlier this month in a search. His wife Misty and daughter Casey are both expected in court for hearings as well. A second man is now charged in a downtown Louisville shooting that left 1 man dead. Arlo Whitehead was arrested yesterday. Police say he was involved in a shooting off 26th and West Madison Street in the Russell neighborhood last June. Darwin Morgan was killed in that shooting. Court records say surveillance video captured Whitehead driving the car involved in that shooting. State lawmakers will come together today to honor the Louisville firefighter who saved the truck driver who was hanging over the 2nd Street Bridge. The Kentucky General Assembly will meet with the firefighters that rappelled down and pulled the driver from the truck's cabin. The celebration will be at Louisville Fire Headquarters this morning at 10:30. Now let's check in with Tawana for a look at the forecast.
And right now, most of us are cloudy and dry, but we're keeping an eye on a few light showers now making their way into portions of Grayson County. That's all we got going on right now. Temperatures are sitting in the 50s and 60s to start the day. As we head over the next 12 hours, we'll have to keep an eye on those rain chances. More of that rain, remember, moving in later on this morning, and then we'll keep the rounds of showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon into this evening as temperatures hover in the 60s. We'll also see some of these wind gusts near 25 miles per hour. Now, as we look ahead to the next 10 days, more rain. Yep, for Wednesday, Thursday, parts of Friday. And I'm not just naming days of the week at this point. Once we head into the upcoming weekend, we'll see some warmer weather, more sunshine, and then some more rain showing up by next Wednesday.
Thanks, Tawana. If we go ahead and take a look at our traffic this morning, only one small incident. It looks like we have a car stopped on 64 West near Grinstead. Could be slowing down traffic just a bit, but everything else looking just fine around the metro. And if we go ahead and, well, there we go. We're taking a look at our metro traffic cameras this morning. You can see the sun starting to come up just a little bit, getting brighter out there, but all those speeds seem to be moving just fine. Only slowdown is on 64 in Floyd County, but hey, we expect that right there before the Sherman-Minton. But everything else looking good.
Not too bad. Just got to deal with all of that rain for the next couple of days.
Hopefully everyone got the crashes out of their system yesterday while they were driving up to look at the eclipse and all that traffic. I was up in southern Indiana doing a little look at myself, and it was slow going, but everyone behaved for the most part.
For the most part. Let's keep it going.
Did you have a good eclipse experience?
We had such a great eclipse experience.
See totality?
Yes, saw totality. The clouds parted just as it was about to happen. It was great.
I'm the only one who didn't see it, I guess.
We should have drug you along.
I was at Waterfront Park, but it was a great crowd out there, too, I have to say. All right, thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday. Have a great week ahead.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more. All for free with Wave Now. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and the Wave News app.